an Aurelia post 6. It's a Brand at 6.
Darius
is another one. That's fair enough. We don't see it in competitive play.
Probably Riven, which we do see in competitive play.
We see that one now. And certainly the Renekton, especially with how easy it is for him to proc the press the attack. So you saw how close that one got. But Beishang, I mentioned it before, he is super ahead of the matchup with how well he's been able to path. Going towards the Raptors and being able to pick it up. And I'm talking about the enemy Raptors, picking that one up so frequently. Camille has been so focused on the ganks that haven't been paying off, and so he's been losing out purely in experience.
But you know Condi, he'll try and he'll try again, just like in game 1 where the bottom lane didn't work out 2 to 3 times, and he made the 4th one count. But this game, it's a very different feeling. This time it looks like Beishang is prioritizing the bottom lane.
Here comes Yuki, though. Have Camille as well. This one should work out just because of the elements of surprise. He should only know now that Condi's coming topside. He clears out the war. Oh, this is actually just hard now. You don't have a wave.
Yeah, Post is next to the turret.
You got nothing, my friend. Are you doing it without it?
Yeah, they're going in. They do lock him down. Post has popped onto the Purge. 1v3. What can the Urgot do? Not enough this time, but still underneath the turret. We look down bottom. Mystic dies down to RD. Kramer's been ignited. Mystic can just turn this around. Final hour. Comes in with the undertow. Viking angry again. Run, Kramer, run! What's going to happen next? Beishang gets condemned back. What a good vein. Undertow lands. Oh, come on. We're so close, but WE's jungler finds his third in the midst of the fray while Condi gets Post in the top lane.
I don't even know how Urgot found himself in that part of the map.
He was next to turret.
He ran the distance. But the best part about that was legitimately Kramer's almost outplay. I think you're right. He played that out as well as he could. But Beishang's going to be able to pick up the kills, plural. And then on top of that, the dragon as well.
So what actually happened in the top lane? I'm very, very curious.
Look, the LPL observers will not let it go. Whenever you're like, I don't think we need to see that replay, and this time around, we definitely see that replay. We always see the replay.
It'll be after Rift Herald being taken by LGD, so they get topside priority. They eventually will get contested here, but Condi get it, thank you. But he might actually die for this hook shot. Whoa shot, Xie, fly baby, fly. Woo! 1, 2, okay, let's go Earth, hit him. Nicely done.
That must feel super good. Dab on him. That's your old teammate. But the double dab?
Double beg with dab.
You don't get to see that. What does it mean?
This is not the answer I was looking for, Raz, but maybe it might turn into one.
We'll see both of them. But we'll see at the very beginning. Kramer, the reason why they went all in on him, Galio didn't have the damage. They thought they did. The fact that they were able to turn on that and Vayne was able to come out so scot-free, I would say poor communication because you saw the Olaf in the area, and if that's the case, you can hold off a bit of time. We're not going to get our answer for the top lane. You can only imagine. For me, I will just call it out for you. That was the craziest dive in the top lane I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, really?
He was so he thought he was free. He was running the distance, huffing, puffing, but then the Camille chased him down. It was like when you found yourself out of prison. You know, you're like, I thought I escaped.
I'm free.
But the dogs run faster than me. I definitely don't outrun the dogs.
Oh, poor Post. He tried so hard as well.
Got ripped to shreds.
But now it makes it even in the top lane again, so both having the death on the board, but both junglers actually committing to the play as well. And Condi picks up the warrior, but
he picks up a lot on. I mean, no, I'm talking about in particular. I mean, Beishang.
Yeah,
the one kill for Condi was there. He got Urgot. But my God, did Beishang get that much more? I talked about what you do and you get a lot of kills underneath you. If you're an Olaf, okay, we got the entire thing. He found himself out there. He was breaking out. He got his ghost. He was like, get me out of here. I don't know what the end game is. He even flashed. That's a big win. I'll say the fact that you were able to get the flash off Camille while bot lane was happening, ran the distance.
A very impressive feat from Post. So not able to get away in the end, but able to impress just that little bit more. WE make it worth on the bottom side of the map while Post gets engaged on again with the Rift Herald coming up. But it's going to be a big trade here considering that in the bottom lane, Beishang is just having the time of his life again. They lock down Crane, but RD, he's dead here. There's no way you're getting out. He's dead, Master Wayne. They find one, and the top side is going to be the response.
A kill and a bottom lane turret, but you're right with the response on the top side of the map. This should be a lot of damage on top lane inner, and it should give LGD some priority. So like being able to push this one in. Oh, Condi's looking for this. This is a little bit much.
Urgot, is he able to take down his half-brother in Rift Herald? No, he's not. He has to flee the scene. Rift Herald's hitting the turret. Just get that proc off. Go, Lies. Attaboy. In a turret. This will drop, actually, because Post just can't walk towards it. Very speedy early game now from LGD. And they're going to go on to post as well. This is unexpected considering that Yuki's coming up here as well. Fear Beyond Death, but deleted the Icicle. Oh, it's cold in here. LGD get the gank off.
Even as CA come and rotate from the mid lane, I think the only reason why that works so well is because for whatever reason, WE wasn't able to get the bottom lane turret. They dove so deep for the kill, but didn't then turn for the actual turret. Beishang left helping top lane when he was there attempting to get the turret bot side. So LGD come up as such major winners of that.
And it's amazing considering how far behind they actually are in that jungle matchup, that Condi's making it work through the top side. Now only 600 gold because of that inner turret being taken. 2 objectives, in fact, by
And they
LGD.
still have to send Mystic and missing bottom lane. That's what's so crazy about this, because bottom lane's still going to be priority with the next dragon coming up.
Yep.
So they just lose out in so much. LGD must be major winners, being able to now send Renekton wherever you can. Mid lane is going to be the inevitably focus, I think. Look at how low the tower is. Sure, it's just like less than a third HP that's just taken away. But you can still now use lives for a possible dive on top of Xie. Much easier now when Camille gets her ultimate. So it's going to be rough for WE if they want to slow the pace of the game down.
Having said that, though, Xie has just picked up the Trinity Force, so if he's able to burst them out and get that range advantage that is now available with the package and the spatula in hand, Xie can put some work down on the side of LGD. Remember, they still have the gold advantage, still 2,000 in favor of WE at the 15-minute mark.
Yeah, I think so far what they've been able to do to get the kills on top of Beishang. I want to see Beishang pay it forward. I spoke about what you do when you get those advantages. Already working towards his Black Cleaver. That's not going to be a redemption pickup here because he is so strong right now. So Kramer and RD already felt it when he was bot side. I think he's going to pay a few more visits. Before this dragon comes up, actually he's just right in position. I think he might even just look to try and solo it out.
Yeah, why not? Especially since Kramer and RD probably have to face check this one. Or there's a ward in the back of the pit, so I do take that back. It will be the face check of WE.
You should definitely pull the dragon out. Look at how well in position Missing and Mystic is. Even Corki coming into the side. So they have push in these adjacent lanes. They have the opportunity for a pick. If you pull the dragon out, make it harder for Condi.
He's going into Xie by himself. Here comes the hero's entrance. Condi so quick to the chase, and they'll find the death sentence on the Missing, but the fight for WE is already in their hands. Xie, come here. Plays on his little pelican again. Missing will be the trade-off, but for WE, they continue to fight forward. Fear Beyond Death on Delize. He has to flash away. Culling just goes straight in. Kramer, here's the Vayne play you want to see from a Freak of Freaks to LGD. Career, it's not enough. He does find the trade-off, but WE ultimately win the fight.
Enough to at least get a kill back. That was well done. Mystic and Missing both fall, but that was such a well-orchestrated play from WE. They were in position for the fight. They were goading Condi, and he just goes for it. Both of his deaths are to his former mid laner in Xie. Xie has constantly just been out for him. That's because Condi put himself out to danger to start.
He went really deep into this fight, Raz. Like, look at this.
What's the purpose of this? At this point, Yuki doesn't even want any bit of that. He still has his ultimate, but wants the rest of the damage to follow through. You have to wait until the Vayne comes in. Before Vayne finally comes and joins the fight, you already see RD losing out like about 80% of his HP, and Camille is already dead. So the setup was not fair from LGD. They weren't patient enough.
And Kramer, look, I mean, to that regard as well, Kramer was the most patient one of the lot, just waiting to the end to pop that final hour. 2 kills on the Vayne, almost with the second item, but mainly Mystic is doing a lot more damage in these fights because he has that front line and he has that 40 CS advantage.
I like what we're getting to see here from Team WE. It's getting much better and playing around their major carries. This time it's Beishang. Remember his Aatrox game when they went up against OMG?
Yeah.
He can take over a game.
I want to remind you, Raz, WE had the highest bloodiness stat in the league. This game is building up to it once again.
You relax. Bloodiness at 15. Okay. Currently the highest bloodiness overall is IG with a ridiculous 1.05 rating. But it means that they're able to get that off when they have a small lead early on. They keep fighting. That's their early game advantage. It's in the kills. It's in through these ganks.
We might actually see some more fighting. Hello, Lies. Xie's already gone out, but turns this back around. Teleport coming in just to save the day. Lies now running away. The Viking all the way back in. Ragnarok's down. Urgot in. And Xie secures the deal.
The kills are coming through so easily. And Kramer at this point only looking for the tower. I don't know if he wants this.
This is going to keep happening. She can just keep pushing down. The 3-0-4 Corki with the BF sword is just going to destroy these turrets quickly.
But they need to pull themselves away from this, because while they're taking the quick gold, overall they're losing the objective across the top side of the map. Inner top lane tower, the outer mid lane turret.
Yep.
These are also important. If they lose that outer mid lane turret, then they essentially lose both sides of the map, because it's so easy to dig into the red side jungle and blue side and just place those wards.
It's super difficult as well. If they lose that mid lane turret, the vision, like you said, is just going to be even more difficult to obtain for LGD, considering when this Baron's coming up towards the top side, but rather that next Mountain Drake, which is going to be pretty big for LGD to contest.
Now you see what Corki did? Now I forget which player did it. A disgusting build where someone just went Infinity Edge first in 9.2. Never do that. He has a Zeal now, and that's what you should do. This is Live starting it out, going towards CA. And in this case, like, the moment they didn't get to see Olaf come behind him, it's more so Live should have recognized that he was going to be the weak side of the map with Camille being bot side. So for him going on to CA, he should expect that was going to happen. Speaking of expecting that.
Live's caught out, Culling's into him, Dominus out, dead.
He only has a Black Cleaver and a BF sword. I would expect the BF to be going into the... I mean, it looks like it's a possible Essence Reaver.
Oh, just pick up GA at this point.
I know a GA is what I'm expecting, but I'm seeing something different. So we'll have to see if he ends up picking up
Essence Reaver.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, missing, charging up the shield of Durant. More tensions building in the mid lane.
So Essence Reaver is great for a Renekton that's ahead. You ultimate, you're in the midst, you're just literally slicing and dicing, armor shred galore, your Q. It's so nice to see when you can just shred an entire enemy team, but he is so far behind that he will get blown up.
Yeah. When you're ahead. Key words there for Lies to listen to.
1, 4, and 2, and you already saw what happened the last time he went topside.
It's not often that you see LGD so far behind so early on, especially when Lies is on a carry. They lose another mid lane turret, more gold in the back pocket of WE. Look at Yuki. Raz, he hasn't gone Infinity Edge. I'm glad to see the rapid fire cannon, so he actually has some crit to build that IE into.
Yeah, Shea picking up the rapid fire cannon is what you should be going towards. There's always the fear of not having enough damage to pair up with the rapid fire cannon and Trinity Force, but having the BF sword just sitting there is a good adaptation.
It was a 3,000 gold lead in the mid lane from Shie to Yuki. Definitely the ideal Corki game you want to have for WE at 21 minutes in. Now Baron's sitting up, but WE have no interest. They're going towards the bottom side. Lies is just being bullied. Even when he gets that Essence Reaver, yeah, he's just going to get nuked.
Right now, if you're LGD, your saving grace is going to be Kramer. Kramer has already had the mechanics, and he's picked up his Winsu's Rage Blade. So he has his 2 items. That's excellent to see. And that should shred through Beishang regardless of the amount of kills that he has. Oh my god.
Well, hang on. Someone's just being called out. That's Condi. Kramer pushing off a Mystic. Flashing away. Condi, will he die here? Yes, he will. Ragnarok in with the flash down. Hammer down as well. Heroic entrance all the way in. A grand return for the Galio. Missing in. Flash forward. There goes Post. Can he die, though? It's about Kramer in the backline. They do find one. WE are low. The Vayne with the final hour hasn't been popped, or rather, it's off cooldown. Onto Yuki. He's dead next. And Mystic chasing up the fight. The winds of war strike true again. Great flash from Kramer. What a mechanical genius. Kramer survives, not going to chase the fight, but WE come close to losing it all.
Yeah, put that one in the Vayne highlight reel, but it doesn't matter when you have your own teammates dead around you. Excellent T-front from Team WE to just run them through. Condi getting picked out, trying to face check that bush when he didn't have much HP to begin with, so really not a great idea, but if you look at his team, who's going to be the one doing so?
Yep.
At this point, boom. That's a lot of damage to start off with, and he's already squishy at this point because he didn't have much gold at the very beginning of the game. So easy kill from Team WE to start, and look at Kramer. How does he actually get the kill onto Olaf? I talked about it being easy if he gets that 1v1 situation, but Galio ultimate saves him. Then he has to deal with Post, and by the time he gets past Pose, you already see Beishang going straight through you.
Almost killed Beishang with the passive from Yuki. LGD force fight on turret. Let's watch this. Woo! Oh, yeah.
That's fun to watch.
That's some good, and that's what sucks. You just taunted her, so she got the final proc of Silver Bolt anyway, even though he was going to die. 4-2-1 on Vayne. Now, it may be a bad news story for LGD, but 7,000 gold behind doesn't matter to a Vayne that can find these fights.
Not much follow-up for the hook, so just the hook just to, you know.
Well, hang on, WE, what a follow-up, Condi.
God.
And Yuki both survived there, but you can see the pressure around getting locked down by missing.
I want to see, last time we saw Condi with Camille, he was decent. He was even in the game, so he was going towards the Trinity Force. He had the ability to do that. It was much slower in game back. Went straight towards the Guardian Angel because at this point, at least he can dive whenever he has it up. But you could already see the issue of that. Diving in when it's not up because he died earlier on, he is paper being shred through, especially with WE's composition, just being able to go straight at you. The bruiser for Olaf and Pose just does way too much to him.
Constantly getting caught out seems to be the issue this game for sure. Now, want to divert your attention to Lies at the top lane. He has the Essence Reaver.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Right now, Urgot lasts far longer in the team fight than he does.
And probably does more damage at this point anyway.
If he's really hoping that, I think either RD gets a great hook on, let's say, Lucian or Xie, or Condi can find the opportunity to get in there. They need the Wombo before he can come in.
Might be too late though, because Baron's just being taken down by 2 members. Will finally get spotted out, but again, too late. WE secure the objective, nice and easy, 9,000 gold at 25 minutes.
That's bark and bite. You have enough pressure for this much into the game. The gold lead is there, 9K gold. Stop dabbing, man. At least just don't do it. You did it before. You keep doing it. He's doing it whenever he's in vision. Whenever he's in vision of LGD and LGD can see it, he's doing it. And you can't mute it.
It's cheeky. Oh, that's right, you can't mute emotes.
Yeah, you can't do it.
But you can mute pings. Which, you know, makes no sense. There's no balance. 3 items for Xie now as well. And this is the dream WE game. This is clean. It's clinical to a degree. I've gotten past that early game where it's back and forth towards these fights. And now we've just got a WE that is making the decisions that Game 1 didn't really allow us to see.
Ooh, Corky's here with him. He has a package. This is going to be nice to see along with the wave. So,
whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, and he still has his W. So he can walk up much further because any CC that comes in, he can just, you know, use it at the exact same time, and it doesn't inhibit him.
Yeah, Xie can probably dive this. Kramer is nowhere nearby. He's sitting in the mid lane. It's 3 versus 2, and WE still have full control. Haven't seen the 1v1 on the 80 carries, but at this point we know who would win.
All eyes on Beishang. Beishang has his Guardian Angel. He's really close to being able to pick back his passive here. So what I'd love to see is Beishang and Missing just go straight forward. And being able to deal with the front line is actually not difficult at all. Condi and Lies are quite easy to take down.
They're just backing away. Missing is not there. Hero's entrance should have the range. And either way, WE with 3 members down in the bottom lane. They take down the turret. They're going to take down the inhibitor. LGD cannot defend this with the Baron buff, and Yuki has to be careful of this other mid laner. She is just putting in the works here with this missile barrage.
Predator's just back up too from Beishang. If the fight starts, he's ready.
They have to start it up with Condi. The Hero's Engine finally comes in. Xie gets low, burning down. Will he eventually go down? No. So for WE, the fight's still reasonable here. RD into the mix of it as well. But this is definitely not what you want. Kramer, what can he achieve? Nothing. It's all over there for LGD with the triple going to post. And WE charging towards that Nexus for a 2-0 in the away stadium against LGD. WE start climbing up towards that middle of the split.
Faster than their average game time. WE looking like a cleaner and cleaner team. The momentum that they had in their victory versus OMG is paying it forward. This was fun. I felt like their plan in game 1 was well played, being able to constantly have the vision to see LGD trying to act. This time around, they had pressure, and it was gone through Beishang. We haven't seen much of Beishang, but damn, I want to see a lot more of him.
Oh my god, it's another 2-0 from, rather 2 strong games from Beishang. So you have to wonder, what are they feeding this jungler in WE?
A lot of meat.
A lot of meat.
This game, a lot of, I'd say a lot of Condi.
I would be surprised if they didn't run Beishang a lot more from now on. WE looking calm, in control, comfortable. You said they cleaned up a lot of their gameplay and are playing around different avenues now as well.
I think the communication is certainly something that they tend to focus on as an organization. And bringing in Beishang a lot more headstrong and being able to bring Missing into the mix. Missing has been playing well. Remember, he's the best of Rift from supports here. And Beishang being a strong individual player so far in the split, they've been actually able to now double team and help out CA when he's inside lane.
Yeah.
CA, when he ended up going inside lane when he was Vladimir, they played slow enough so they can allow him accrue the experience and farm. In game 2, he picked up the Corki, and guess what? He was getting opened up on by the Renekton, but Renekton is on the weak side of the map, and they let him pay it for it. So WE is a lot more coordinated now than they were last year, a lot more coordinated now than they were in the beginning of the split.
Kind of brings up new questions about LGD here in this game as well. I mean, they had a win condition, they knew what they were playing towards, but it's hard when Beishang just is everywhere around the map.
I think the hardest part about that, you're right about Beishang. Beishang was in the right parts where he was going for your Raptor camp, and he had a 2-level advantage early on.
Yeah.
That was legitimately a level 6 Olaf ganking top lane, while the Camille was like pushed away from her own Raptor camp bot side, all of that, and was level 4 fishing for ganks, but there were so many well-positioned wards. That's something that was so strong for WE in the past, where their early wards would keep their lane safe. They didn't have that for so long, for like last year in 2018. It's nice that they're being able to get that back.
And it was a change from Game 2 as well. Small adaptations for WE. Game 1 was about regaining some of the vision control because LGD had so much priority on it. But Game 2, they were ahead from the get-go. They started prioritizing that. So little changes there, and maybe more commendable of Wei Xiao and what he took away from the drawing board of Game 1 to Game 2.
Yeah, and I think what we got to see was, even though like the game-to-game adaptations were certainly there, it felt like the practice sessions that they've had through scrims, like the off-season going into this one, were so much more beneficial to this team than anyone else, because they got to really understand what their identity should be. And it's more so picking back up on what they left behind in 2017. Now a lot of that benefit's coming back.
And it makes sense that they were one of your teams to watch, especially WE, starting to climb up that leaderboard. We'll see how they go in the coming weeks. However, our next game up, not match of the week, but might be match of the week. We're calling it IG versus Suning. This one's going to be big. We'll see you soon.
Tears, they're falling like rain, spelling out your name. Pleasure turns into pain. Will I hold you again? I should have seen the signs, read between the lines. I'm going in. More than just a tick, when I'm going in, I'ma make sure kids like up and you guys make a big page, but when I do it too big, I mean outrageous. Who you think is dealing with doll face? I don't need my kings and queens, you know, cause I'm the ace by the case. That's right, I said I'm going in. While you out running errands, I'm running this game, I'm in that top spot. Natural born winner, work hard, play harder, come and get it if you wanna, but yo, you better know. I'm going in. I'm going in.
From Hangzhou over to Hongqiao, this is how we do things in the LPL. We are back in Shanghai, and we're a bit more local this time, with Invictus Gaming taking on Suning. The audience is once again out in force, and I have to say, the support here has been unanimously for, you know, well, it hasn't been unanimous, but I'm just talking out of my, you know, anyway. Suning and IG, this is a pretty big matchup here. Especially as Maple walks on in. He has been sick over the past couple of weeks, and after Chinese New Year, it has been pretty rough. Looking at Easy Hoon there, who we should all know from old Vichy Gaming, especially since the coaching staff of Suning has been absolutely fantastic, considering we have Comet coming over from Afrika Freaks. Actually, have a lot of people coming over from Afrika Freaks on that note as well. You're looking at Suning in their full form. We have Hacker back in. Weiwei has been there over the past couple of weeks, but of course the reigning world champions of Invictus Gaming out in force as well. And we do have the Shy starting today. I hope he could open that packet of whatever that was. But Invictus Gaming, very proud to be in the LPL in this year because they're not at the top of the leaderboard. They're just underneath. We'll find out in this next matchup what happens. My name's Jake Asteric Penko. This is Brento Raz Muhammad. We're getting into our, not match of the week, but our match of the week here with IG taking on Suning.
Yeah, we got a real good matchup here. And I think the only thing that disqualified both teams to be match of the week is simply because they've had that rocky start. But just looking at it from the preseason, you're like, oh my goodness. Both of these lineups, lane to lane to lane, look so good.
Who's got the late kingdom? I wasn't even sure. You just saw before WE taking on LGD, and in that previous matchup, just to touch on it super quickly, we do need to come back to Beishang before we get into this next matchup. So let me take you down memory lane. Beishang was good that game, and he's good in O-Life, and that's
Boom.
why he's MVP.
That was a nice recap.
Yeah, it was a great
Should
recap.
throw that one in my Raz's recap.
Oh, you should.
Beishang, really well played. 6-0 and 9, and like the impact that he had was that he was able to blow the game wide open so quickly for the squad.
Yep.
Usually they would, earlier on in the split, I think one of the problems is they would have those leads, especially when they went up against EDG, and it would take so long to really close it out. With how bloody they were really early on into the games, like 15 minutes into the game, like moving on past that point, things tend to halt it. So I like the fact that Beishang has those fangs.
Keeping that momentum up, and in this series coming up, we should see that same level of momentum, especially since it is going to be the full lineup of Hacker taking on Ning. But IG versus Suning, we've been waiting a while for this matchup, and we're wondering, okay, who's at full capacity here with both teams?
I love the fact that just both of these teams clashing, they have such very different identity. And if we just throw the team statistics, it goes to really hit that home.
Yep.
I think the biggest takeaway for me, you'll get to see in the bottom half of it, is the bloodiness rating. Because I wanted to correct you earlier on in terms of just the full game bloodiness.
Very true.
I have never seen a team in the world that is this bloody. One kill, even more than that, a minute. Invictus Gaming just go ham. And if you look towards Suning Gaming, it's the opposite. Suning is literally the opposite of that, where they are ranked last in the bloodiness. They take it slow. They play around vision control. They go for that one team fight that will end the game because it's playing around what is a smarter playstyle, the Korean playstyle. They have Easy Hoon, they have Comet that makes that one ring true. And if they are confident in one player, it's Sword Art's ability to man the helm.
Yeah, that's right. Sword Art has been key in this roster. Taking a look at the average win time there as well. I mean, they're very similar, probably the most similar trait out of any of those statistics.
The one thing that really teeters off, it's when it's average game time. Because it still remains the same for Invictus Gaming simply because they've won so much. And when they lose, they still will lose hard and quickly. While Suning actually just hold it firm. They have actually one of the longest game times if you take into consideration their losses because they really are able to slow the pace of the game down.
I would also mention that for Invictus Gaming, if they lose hard, it's like, oh, wow, what's going on? If they win hard, like they did against Sino Dragon, you're like, well, we're going quick.
It's funny because even in their wins, it looks really messy because if you look at how they start out, the Infernal Dragon, they start to lose members here, but take a look at the flank. Rookie and the Shy, they're iconic players. They're best players in the world at this point. That they're able to, at this point, smurf in this team fight. Get the kill on towards their AD carry and start running them down front to back. Sino Dragons, usually if you look at a team like Sino Dragons or even Rogue Warriors, you say, let's play towards their weakness. Let's try and open up the map and split the map up. But Invictus Gaming, they take that as a